So this was something that I kind of warned people about a while ago as well. A lot of people will go, well, PC is Xbox, Xbox is PC, and it's all the same thing, and it's all these different kind of things because Microsoft has this habit of trying to play up that, oh, it's the same things or whatever because Microsoft does Windows or whatever. But there's actually quite a big difference. People will play on a Windows PC and play Steam, and they don't like to play and use the Windows Store and Microsoft's actual gaming stuff on PC. That's pretty much factual. And even though Microsoft kind of pushes this whole idea that, hey, it's PC and Xbox and PC, and even Satya Nadella recently was like, yeah, it's it's the same thing, and we really are gonna play that up and this kind of thing and that kind of thing. It's completely different. And I've been saying this for an absolute while now, and now we have some more kind of information about this. People talking about it. Mikey Barra, who used to work for Xbox and used to work for Blizzard, was kind of speaking out about this as well. Because there was this article from Windows Central Gaming where it says Resident Evil Village has Xbox Play Anywhere, but Resident Evil Requiem does not. Why are publishers so ambivalent to one of Xbox's only remaining unique selling points, and can Xbox fix it? And so it was funny because Mikey Barr responds to that. He goes, PC and Xbox are two totally different platforms, as much as some might want to say they are the same. Let's use Rockstar as an example. They sold millions of copies of GTA 5 on console, then sold millions on PC, including millions of people on console buying the game again on PC. Why would anyone put that revenue at risk? Sure, it's a nice feature for some, but to buy once and play it on both, but it won't scale, nor will it ever get broad support. It's already been out for years with minimal impact. And this is what I've been saying, right? And now people maybe will pay a little bit more attention to it because Mikey Barr is saying it, but Play Anywhere isn't new. I hate to be that guy, but it's not new. It's been out for literally a decade now, right? That's what Microsoft came out with it. And I remember people telling me how great Play Anywhere was going to be and it was going to lead to more of this and more of that. And the only thing it's led to is less console sales and less games and, less exclusives, less everything, So it's I'm sitting here trying to think of what it's actually done, and it's done a bunch of nothing. So that's realistically kind of where we're at with this. So I wholeheartedly agree with that. Xbox is not a PC and PC is not an Xbox, and and I think that even so, I know people will go, oh well, it's the same thing. And when I brought up that ROG Ally thing, right? This thing, they tried to pass it off as an Xbox or whatever, and to be honest with you, I was like, how is that an Xbox when you can't play your Xbox games? Your console games aren't playable. And the majority, you can look at they'll tout, oh, we have over 1,000 Play Anywhere titles, and the majority of those titles are just these little crappy, a lot of them are these little mobile games and stuff. It's really, really bad games. I looked at the list once and I was just like, wow, this is what they're trying to push on people. It's absolutely insanity to see that happen. But you know what I mean? And so when you look at that and you kind of just can see it's a totally different thing, and it really is. It's a totally different thing. PC and console, they're totally different in a lot of ways. And again, more power to people. How they want a game, they can play how they want. That's fair enough. But it's when GTA 6 launches on consoles, you're not going to be able to play that on a ROG Ally. You can't play college football. And I know people laugh at that or whatever, but it's college football is one of the best selling games of the year. It's in the top 5 best selling for the year. A lot of people play it. I play it a lot. It's a fun game, and it's not on PC. So that's another thing. You can't play that on your ROG Ally or on a PC or whatever the case may be. And we could see more stuff like that happen as well. So somebody else says, don't you think they should be working harder to bring all the games to Play Anywhere, considering their future consoles will be a hybrid type and most likely only Play Anywhere Xbox titles? And Mikey Barr responded, he said, yeah, he goes, nah, it would cost billions to pay off developers to support Play Anywhere. I think the only solution is to get emulation that works on low-end PC hardware configurations. My guess is their next Xbox PC thing will cost a lot because emulation is difficult and requires a lot of hardware capability. Remember this tweet, expensive Xbox PC device for emulation of older games. So yeah, right? And and I think we all already know that whatever Microsoft Microsoft is offering next is going to be expensive, right? Like we all think it's going to be over $1,000, but it could be even more than what we even think with that, right? Like think about that for a second, right? We're all saying, you know, $1,000, $1,200, but the reality is right now the Xbox, and I've mentioned this previously, the Series X 2 terabyte diskless is $800. So, you know, saying that it would only be something with, they're saying what, 40, 54 gigs of RAM, something like that. You might have to have two separate sets of insides in it, because you might, another way that they could go is have Xbox hardware in it, like a Series X in it, along with the PC hardware, like two separate things, right? That way you could play it natively or whatever, but that would be just as expensive, because the PS3 did this back in the day. I know some of you probably didn't realize that, but some of the PS3 consoles, the launch ones, like you had one PS3 console, I think it was the 80 gig, was Emulation, right? And that was like, that would emulate the PS2 games. But then I think it might have been like the certain 60 gig models were hardware backwards compatible, where they had like a PS2 inside of it, and it was very expensive to do. I mean, obviously the PS3s were expensive, and the first thing that Sony cut out was the expense of that. So, you know, again, it's going to be interesting to see how these things kind of go, because, and I've mentioned this before, you can emulate, like Microsoft could have something that emulates all your games, but they couldn't sell those games to you, right? They couldn't have a store selling those games. If they were to sell those games, and you guys can check this up, I know people think I'm full of shit or whatever, but you can check this out with how emulation works, right? The whole reason why the backwards compatibility program stopped was because they couldn't sell the games in their store while emulating them without a license. And with all the games and stuff, it's like a lot of those publishers, developers don't even have, you know, they're closed down or whatever. You know, you have certain deals with like manufacturers or something, long past their music, and it's kind of expensive to get all that stuff. So I'm doubtful of a few things for whatever this next Xbox will be, and I think you guys should be maybe a little bit wary too. One thing is, like Microsoft, maybe the reason why they're pushing for Play Anywhere so hard now, and that I believe, is because, you know, it's probably going to be like the ROG and only be able to play, you know, certain games or whatever, you know, maybe Play Anywhere or something like that. And I don't think it's going to have 100% backwards compatibility with what we have now. You know, I think that would be increasingly difficult to actually be able to, you know, have something like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of handle that. Like, I'm curious. Like, I'm not interested in it because I'm not paying, you know, $1,200-$1,400 or whatever for a PC with an Xbox logo slapped on it that's running full Windows. Like, no, sir. But it's going to be interesting to see how they handle all this stuff, because I think they do have, like, they have a couple different groups of people. Some are waiting and seeing, like, they're not going to overreact one way or the other, and, you know, they're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to wait to see what Microsoft announces, blah, blah, blah. I think the reason that Sony might internally delay the PS6, because you could live off of GTA 6 quite a bit. A lot of people are going to upgrade from PS4 to PS5 because of that game, right? And you might even get some PC folk getting a PS5 Pro or PS5 or whatever to play that game. Sony's going to highly market the game. Its lead platform is PlayStation 5. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on there. You know what I mean? So I think they could end up selling 130 million PS5s by the time it's all said and done if they wait a little bit longer. And even if Microsoft launches first, that high price point is going to be like, again, and I like to use this term, farting in the wind, because just like that ROG Ally didn't sell anything. Yeah, you had these sites saying it's sold out, but if you're only selling, you know, 10,000 units, then that's not a big deal. It's like when people see Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox Store, and it's like, it's in the top 10 most paid. And then I went and checked the most played games, and it clocked in at 270th, and there's like Xbox 360 games ahead of it. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get in the top 10 when there's not a lot coming out. You know, you could sell 1,000, maybe 5,000 units and get in the top 10 because not everything's launching, and then only something new would probably get those sales significant enough to get in the top 10. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about it. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.